Hello everyone, Fanta here, you're watching FANTAVISION, and well, I'm sorry to say, but my doomsaying days of GameStop are most likely over, at least for the foreseeable future, because, wow, they have raised a lot of money recently. GameStop has completely cashed in this whole meme stock mania that Wallstreetbets has been doing, and they made $1.1 billion. That is right, GameStop finally made money. They sold 5 million common stock shares and made $1.1 billion. That is insane. That is absolutely crazy. I don't know that they've ever even made that much profit before. I mean, it's absolutely absurd how much cash they raised during this whole meme stock thing. I mean, AMC, they raised a lot of money as well. They sold more stock. They kept themselves afloat. That's fine. I wanted AMC to stick around because I like the movie theaters, and I think AMC's been doing a good job of renovating and making their theaters just a better experience. But GameStop, I wasn't rooting for its death, but I kind of was, because it seems like all the executives are just kind of scumbags, and they have been since years, as long as I can remember. But Reddit, the platform that normally hates on GameStop, has saved the company by making it into a meme. I never thought that we'd see memes make companies survive, and we've seen memes make people rich, but I never thought we'd see a corporation cash in on that sort of phenomenon. But what are they going to do with all this money? Let's take a look at a quote from a press release that GameStop put out. GameStop will use net proceeds from the ATM offering for general corporate purposes, as well as for investing in growth initiatives and maintaining a strong balance sheet. That is the most boring thing I've ever read from a company that just made over $1 billion. Really? That's what you came out to say? That's it? The most vague things in the planet? Well, we've already seen how they've spent their money in the past, and I feel like we're going to see the same trend, because this is what corporations do, unfortunately, and that's give millions of dollars to executives for both leaving. Yep, that's right. They gave an executive $2 million for leaving. What? Can I get money for leaving a company? That's crazy. And they also gave insane bonuses, again, just like every other company. I mean, even when they were doing terrible, they were giving out huge bonuses to executives. It's just absurd how corporations are run. It doesn't make any sense. Executives continue to make millions of dollars even as the ship is sinking, while they are basically using the corpses of all the employees that they had to fire to keep themselves afloat. What I think they're going to do with the money, and what a lot of people out there are saying, is that GameStop is essentially a SPAC now. Now, a SPAC is a speculative acquisition company, and that type of company is basically a shell company whose sole purpose is to raise money to acquire other companies. Now, let's face it, they're basically a SPAC now because they're just a huge chunk of cash with a bunch of dead weight attached to them in the form of their brick and mortar stores. I mean, their stores, I cannot believe for a second, are doing really well right now. I just can't. I can't believe that they're turning some sort of amazing profit. I don't believe that they're the future of the business. Even they don't. They're constantly moving more and more of their focus to their website. But again, how does their website compare to everything else? Without having the GameStop stores to trade in games, what is the reason to go to GameStop? You go to GameStop to trade in old games you don't play anymore because you're too lazy to sell them on eBay or somewhere else, and you just want to buy another game. Now they're even price matching, so there's even more of a reason to go into brick and mortar stores. However, I don't know if you've noticed this or if you've tried to buy anything during these deal of the day things that GameStop does, but it seems like GameStop stores don't carry video games anymore. The last time I went into a GameStop store, the section for new games was minuscule. It was so tiny. I had to try to find it. Whereas the pre-owned still has kind of a section of a wall, and the rest was toys and t-shirts and board games. Look, I get that they're not making a ton of money on new games, but if there's no reason for me to go trade in games to pick up my new games there, where are they going to get new inventory? Where are they going to get new customers? I still don't quite understand what their business model is, besides this fact that they now have a giant chunk of money and now they can just buy something else that is actually working. And honestly, if GameStop wants to survive as a brand and not just cash out and have all of their executives leave with like hundreds of millions of dollars, which I could totally see them doing, they need to buy a company. They need to buy a successful company, because you know what? They are not a successful company. There was no turnaround. They didn't save themselves. They were saved by a bunch of people online that realized, hey, this is such a terrible company that everybody's betting on it failing, that if we buy the stock and drive it up, people are going to get trapped in a loop, and they're going to have to keep borrowing their shares, and it's going to keep going up because they're never going to sell. They're never going to cash out and lose even more money. They don't want to do it. They're going to try to ride it out, and that's what happened. And that's why it shot up to some insane degree. And they've taken advantage of that, which makes sense. Any smart company would, and they did. And now they have a huge chunk of cash, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it. I hope they don't just give it to executives. It'd be great to see them give a great raise to all of their employees. Wouldn't that be nice? It's not going to happen. Oh no, they have $1.1 billion. You really think any of that's going to go to any of their employees? No, it's not. So at least I'm hoping that they'll buy some other company that's doing well, and then I guess turn it around and save their business, not for themselves, not for the executives, I don't care about them, but for all of those employees so they don't lose their jobs. But if I were to bet what they're going to do with all this money is probably waste it on upgrading their website. They're going to waste it by giving huge fat bonuses to all the executives that have already made bank from selling their own stock. And they're probably going to keep shuttering stores anyway because, like I said, they're just dead weight at this point. Their whole plan is to turn into an online business, and I still don't see how they're going to do it, but that is still going to be their main goal, even after all this talk of revamping stores, turning them into tournament centers, and just overall just trying to improve the customer experience by price matching. All of that, I don't think is showing that it's going to be a better company in the future for its employees or for the customers, honestly, because they're just going to keep shuttering stores, they're going to keep having limited inventory, and they're going to keep pushing for online. And with that, I don't know if they'll be able to sustain themselves as a company unless they really do buy something. They need to buy a company, or they're still going to die. I know I just said that my doomsaying is over, and it is for a long time. They can keep themselves afloat with this money for a very long time, but if they don't do something with it and they really do just waste it on bonuses and just sinking millions of dollars into a website that nobody's going to use anyway, I don't know. They were on the right track with price matching, and now they're still shuttering stores. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about basically GameStop being saved. Let me know if you think they have a future or if they're just going to spend the money willy-nilly. Of course, like the video if you guys liked it. Subscribe for more content. And as always, have a fantastic day. See everybody.